Om Namo Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Jayet Nashtaprayeshu Hantreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtake. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, Chapter 7, the meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vallabhat, text 13 onwards. So Vallabhacharya or Vallabhat had come to Jagannath Puri. So there's a discussion between him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going on. So Vallabhacharya is glorifying Mahaprabhu. Jagate karila tumi Krishna nam prakashe yahi toma dekhe sahi Krishna prema bhashe. You have manifested the holy name of Krishna throughout the entire world. Anyone who sees you is immediately absorbed in ecstatic love of Krishna. Prema prakash na hai Krishna shakti veene, Krishna ek prema data shastra brahmane. Without being especially empowered by Krishna, one cannot manifest ecstatic love for Krishna. For Krishna is the only one who gives ecstatic love. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. Shantavatara bhava pushkar nabhasya sarvato vatra Krishna danya ko va latashva api premado bhavati. There may be many all auspicious incarnations of the personality of Godhead, but who other than Lord Krishna can bestow love of God upon the surrendered souls? This is a verse written by Bilmangal Thakur. It is quoted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Mahaprabhu kahe shun bhat mahamati mayavadi sannyasi ami na jani Krishna bhakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, My dear Vallabh Bhatt, you are a learned scholar. Kindly listen to me. I am a sannyasi of the Mayavad school. Therefore, I have no chance of knowing what Krishna Bhakti is. Advaitacharya Gosai Sakshat Ishvara Tara Sange Amar Mana Haila Nirmana. Nevertheless, my mind has become purified because I have associated with Advaitacharya, who is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvashasya Krishna Bhakti Nahi Yarasam Attev Advaitacharya Taranam. He is unparalleled in his understanding of all the revealed scriptures and the devotional service of Lord Krishna. Therefore, he is called Advaitacharya. Yahara kripate malechar hai Krishna bhakti ke kahite pare tara Vaishnavata sakti. He is such a great personality that by his mercy he can convert even the meat eaters or malechas to the devotional service of Krishna. Who therefore can estimate the power of his Vaishnavism? The Mahaprabhu is now trying to glorify Advaitacharya. Of course, Advaitacharya is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he has all these qualities, what Mahaprabhu is saying, but still, Mahaprabhu is saying, because of his mercy, I got some bhakti. It is extremely difficult to convert a malecha or a meat eater into a devotee of Lord Krishna. Therefore, anyone who can do so is situated on the highest level of Vaishnavism. Nityananda Avadhuta Sakshat Ishvara Bhavun Made Matta Krishna Premere Sagar. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, the Avadhuta, is also directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is always intoxicated with the madness of ecstatic love. Indeed, he is an ocean of love of Krishna. Shaddarshan Veta Bhattacharya Sarvabhauma Shaddarshane Jagat Guru Bhagavata Uttam. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya perfectly knows the six philosophical theses. He is therefore the supreme master, spiritual master of the entire world in teaching the six paths of philosophy. He is the best of devotees. Tena dekhaila more bhakti yoga pare tara prasade janila Krishna bhakti yoga sara. Sarva Bhattacharya has shown me the limit of devotional service. Only by his mercy have I understood that devotional service to Krishna is the essence of all mystic yoga. Ramananda Raya Krishna Rasera Nidhana Teha Janaila Krishna Swayama Bhagavan. Srila Ramananda Raya is the ultimate knower of the transcendental mellows of Lord Krishna's devotional service. He has instructed me that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tate prema bhakti purushartha shirumani raga marge prema bhakti sarvadhik jani. Through the mercy of Ramananda Raya, I have understood that ecstatic love of Krishna is the highest goal of life, and that spontaneous love of Krishna is the highest perfection. So Purushartha, the goal of life, generally refers to religion, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. However, above these four kinds of Purusharthas, love of Godhead stands supreme. It is called Param Purushartha, the supreme goal of life, or Purushartha Shiromani, the most exalted of all Purusharthas. Lord Krishna is worshipped by regulative devotional service, but the highest perfection of devotional service is spontaneous love of Godhead. That is Raganuga Bhakti. Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Arya Shingara, Dasya Sakha Guru Kanta Ashraye Yahar. The servant, friend, superior, and conjugal lover are the shelters of the transcendental mellows called Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Shringar. Shringar or Madhurya Ras. Aishwarya Jnana Yukta Keval Bhava Aishwarya Jnani Na Pai Brajendra Kumar. There are two kinds of emotions of bhav. Emotion with an understanding of the Lord's full opulences is called Aishwarya Jnana Yukta, and pure, uncontaminated emotion is called Keval. One cannot achieve shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, simply by knowing his opulences. So pure, uncontaminated emotion is called Keval. So that is what one needs to achieve. Nayam Sukhapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopika Sutta. Jnaninam cha Atma Bhutanam Yatha Bhaktimatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self. So he is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but not to mental speculators or jnanis, not to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities or yogis, and definitely not to those who consider the body the same as the self, means the karmis. Atma Bhuta Shabde Kahe Parishad Gana Aishwarya Jnane Lakshmi Na Paila Brajendra Nandan. The word Atma Bhuta means personal associates. Through the understanding of the Lord's opulence, the goddess of fortune could not receive the shelter of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, has complete knowledge of Krishna's opulences, but she could not achieve the association of Krishna by dint of such knowledge. The devotees in Vrindavan, however, actually enjoy the association of Krishna. So even Lakshmi ji could not achieve. Nayam Shriyo Nitanta Rate Prasada Swara Yoshitam Nalina Gandha Rucham Kutuanya Rasot Save Asya Bhuja Danda Grihita Kanta Labdha Shisham Ya Udgada Vraja Sundarina. When Lord Shri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Ras Leela, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world. Nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers. And what to speak of worldly women, who may be very, very beautiful according to material estimation. Only the gopis got this special favor of Krishna. Shuddha bhave sakha kare skande arohan, Shuddha bhave brajeshwari karena bandhan. In pure Krishna consciousness, a friend mounts the shoulder of Krishna and Mother Yashoda binds the Lord. Shuddha bhav, pure Krishna consciousness, is not dependent on an understanding of the Lord's opulences. Without such knowledge, the devotee in Shuddha bhav is inclined to love Krishna as a friend or son. Mor sakha mor putra hi shuddham, atev shukka vyasa kare prashansa. In pure Krishna consciousness, without knowledge of the Lord's opulences, a devotee considers Krishna as his friend or son. Therefore, this devotional attitude is praised even by Shukdev Goswami and Vyasadeva, the supreme authority. Itham satam brahma sukhanubhuti dasyam gadanam paradevatena maya shitanam naradarakena sakam vijaru kritta punya punja. Neither those who are engaged in self-realization, appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, nor those engaged in devotional service while accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, means in the Dasiras, not those who are under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord an ordinary person, can understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as cowherd boys. See how pious, well, of course, not pious activities, it's a bhakti, but how much bhakti they must have done. Not those who are nitya sakhas of Krishna, but those who have still gone through devotion service and have attained that level, and playing with the Lord in friendship. Traya cha Upanishadbhishcha Sankhya Yogeshcha Satvate Upagiya Mana Mahatmayam Harim Samanyatam Yatatmajam. When Mother Yashoda saw all the universes within Krishna's mouth, she was astonished for the time being. The Lord is worshipped like Indra and other demigods by the followers of the three Vedas who offer him sacrifices. He is worshipped as impersonal Brahman by saintly persons who understand his greatness through studying the Upanishads, as a Purusha by great philosophers who analytically study the universe, as the all-pervading supersoul by great yogis, and as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees. Nevertheless, Mother Yashoda considered the Lord her own son, and she was astonished for time being, seeing all the universes within Krishna's mouth. Nanda kim karod brahman Shreya evam mahodayam Yashoda va mahabhaga Papo yasya stanam hari. O Brahman, what pious activities did Nand Maharaj perform to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as a son? And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna call her mother and suck her breasts? Amazing. And Krishna performs all these pastimes with his devotees. That's why those who don't have devotional, even tinge of devotion, they cannot understand this. Just like, forget about Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, they are way, way beyond. Even in the temple, they cannot understand. Just like Jagannath's Lila. Why? Why we offering rasgullas to Jagannathji offering rasgulla to Lakshmi? What kind of devotion? What kind of Bhagwan he is? That he is kept outside on the chariot for 4 days. And his wife was angry. They cannot understand the mood, the bhav, the prem of these pastimes. For them, Bhagwan is like, oh, he is very great and he just supplies our daily bread, that's it. No, he's much more than that. ऐश्वर्य देखिले शुद्धेर नाहे ऐश्वर्य ज्ञान अतएव ऐश्वर्य है केवल भाव प्रधान. Even if a pure devotee sees the opulence of Krishna, he does not accept it. If a pure consciousness is more exalted than the consciousness of the Lord's opulence, a devotee of the Lord, because that love is there, it takes over the opulence. यही सब शिखाइला मूड राय रामानंद अनर्गल रसवेता प्रेम सुखानंद. Ramanand Rai is extremely aware of transcendental mellows. He is incessantly absorbed in the happiness of ecstatic love of Krishna. It is he who has taught me all this. Kahan na jaye Ramanande Prabha, Rai Prasade Jani Lugra, Jera Shuddha Bhav. It is impossible to describe the influence and knowledge of Ramananda. For only by his mercy have I understood the unalloyed love of the residents of Vrindavan. Damodar Swarup Prema Rasa Murtiman Yara Sange Haila Braja Madhura Rasa Gyan. The transcendental mellows of ecstatic love are personified by Swarup Damodar. By his association, I have understood Vrindavan's transcendental mellow of conjugal love. Shuddha Prema Braja Devir Kama Gandhahi Krishna Sukha Tatparya Eitarachin. The unalloyed love of the gopis and Srimati Radharani is without any trace of material lust. A criterion of such transcendental love is that its only purpose is to satisfy Krishna. Yatte sujata charnam burhum staneshu gita shanay priya dadi mahi karkasheshu tena tavi matasi tad yatate nakyam sut purpa dibir brahmati thira avat ayusha. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our lives rest only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. This verse is spoken by the gopis in Srimad. Gopi Ganera Shuddha Prema Aishwarya Jnanahin Premete Bharsana Kare Ei Tarachi. Obsessed with pure love without knowledge of opulences, the gopis sometimes chastise Krishna. That is a symptom of pure ecstatic love. Pati Sutanvayam Bhratri Bandhavam Ati Vilangyate Anti Achyutam Gatam Gati Vitastavo Gita Mohitam Kitava Yoshitam Kastya Nishi. O dear Krishna, the gopis have neglected the order of our husbands, sons, family, brothers, and friends, and have left their company to come to you. You know everything about our desires. They come only because we are attracted by the supreme music of a flute. But you are a great cheater, for who else would give up the company of young girls like us in the dead of night? So this is again from 10th canto, 31st chapter, the Gopi Gita. सर्वोत्तम भजन है सर्व भक्ति जीन अतएव कृष्ण कहे आमी तुम्हारा ऋणी. The conjugal love of the gopis is the most exalted devotion service, surpassing all other methods of bhakti. Therefore, Lord Krishna is obliged to say, my dear gopis, I cannot repay you. Indeed, I am always indebted to you. न पार्यहं निर्वद्य samyuja सुसाधु कृत्यं विबुधायुषापि वा या मां भजन दुर्जगे shrinkhala samvrishya tadva parityatu sadhu. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahman. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your sage. ऐश्वर्य ज्ञान हईते केवल भाव प्रधान पृथ्वी ते भक्त नाही उद्धव समान. Completely distinct from love of Krishna in opulence. Pure love of Krishna is on the highest level. On the surface of the world, there is no devotee greater than Uddhava. Deha yar pad dhuli kare na prarthan swarupera sange painu nahi sarv shikshan. Uddhava desires to take on his head the dust of the gopis' lotus feet. I have learned about all these transcendental loving affairs of Lord Krishna from Swarup Damodar. So Uddhavji desires to take on his head the dust of gopis' lotus feet. So that was his desire when he went to Vrindavan and saw the mood of the gopis. And that is a place at Govardhan Parikrama. Uddhav Kund is there. So that is where he desired that he become this Gulmalata. So the gopis, when they go over there, so they put their lotus feet on Uddhavji's in the form of creeper, so he can get Krishna Bhakti. So this is what his desire is. Asam maho charana renu jusham aham syam vrindavane kimapi gulma lata oshadhina ya dustyajam sojanam are patham chahitva bhejur mukund padvim shrutibhir vimrigyam. The gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members, who are very difficult to give up, and they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Oh, let me be fortunate enough to become one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs in Vrindavan, for the gopis trample them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. So this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Uddhava. When Uddhava was sent by Krishna to see the condition of the gopis in Vrindavan, he stayed there for a few months in their association and always talked with them about Krishna. Although this greatly pleased the gopis and other residents of Brajbhumi, Vrindavan, Uddhava saw that the gopis were severely afflicted by their separation from Krishna. Their hearts were so disturbed that their minds were sometimes deranged. Observing the unalloyed devotion and love of the gopis for Krishna, Uddhava desired to become a creeper, a blade of grass, or an herb in Vrindavan, so that sometimes the gopis would trample him and he would receive the dust of the lotus feet on his head. This is the desire of a devotee. Haridas Thakur Mahabhagavat Pradhan Pratidin Layate Tin Lakshana. Haridas Thakur, the teacher of the holy name, is the most exalted of all pure devotees. Every day he chants 300,000 holy names of the Lord. Namera Mahima Ami Tara Thai Sikhilu Tara Prashade Namera Mahima Jani. I have learned about the glories of the Lord's holy name from Haridas Thakur, and by his mercy, I have understood their glories, these glories. So further, Mahaprabhu is glorifying other devotees. Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Pandit Gadadhar, Jagadananda Damodar, Shankar Vakreshwar, Kashishwara Mukunda, Vasudev Murari, Ari Yakta Ganan, Bode Avatari, कृष्ण नाम प्रेम कैला जगते प्रचार, यहाँ सब बार संग कृष्ण भक्ति ये हम। आचार्य रत्न आचार्य निधि गदाधर पंडित जगदानंद दामोदर शंकर वक्रेश्वर काशीश्वर मुकुंद वासुदेव Murari and many other devotees have descended in Bengal to preach to everyone the glories of the holy name of Krishna and the value of love for him. I have learned from them the meaning of devotional service to Krishna. भट्टेर हृदय दृढ़ अभिमान जानी भंगीकारी महाप्रभु कहे तवानी. Knowing that Vallabh Bhatt's heart was full of pride, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these words, hinting at how one can learn about devotional service. So that was the issue. Vallabh Bhatt was greatly proud of his knowledge in devotional service, and therefore he wanted to speak about Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without understanding the Lord's position. The Lord therefore hinted in many ways that if Vallabh Bhatt wanted to know what devotional service actually is, he would have to learn from all the devotees he mentioned, beginning with Advaitacharya, Lord Nityananda, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Ramananda. As Swarup Damodar has said, if one wants to learn the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, one must take lessons from a realized soul. One should not proudly think that one can understand the transcendental loving service of the Lord simply by reading books. One must become a servant of a Vaishnava. As Narottam Das Thakur has confirmed, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paicheke. One cannot be in a transcendental position unless one very faithfully serves a pure Vaishnava. One must accept a Vaishnava Guru, Ado Guru Ashrayam, and then by questions and answers, one should gradually learn what pure devotion service to Krishna is. That is called the Parampara system. And somehow the Lord found or noticed pride in the heart of Vallabh Bhatt. So he wanted to smash that pride. आमी से वैष्णव भक्ति सिद्धांत सब जानी, आमी से भागवत अर्थ उत्तम वाखान. Vallabh Bhatt was thinking, I'm a great Vaishnava, having learned all the conclusions of Vaishnava philosophy. I can understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam and explain it very well. भटेर मने ते चल दीर्घ गर्भ, प्रभुर वचन सुनी से हैला खर्व. Such pride had existed for a long time within the mind of Vallabh Bhatt. But as he heard the preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his pride was cut down. Prabhur mukhe Vaishnavata shuniya sabar, bhater icha hailata sabare dekhi bar. When Vallabh Bhatt heard from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of the pure Vaishnavism of all these devotees, he immediately desired to see them. भट्ट कहे यही सब वैष्णव रहे कौन स्थाने, कौन प्रकारे पाइनु यहाँ सवार दर्शन. Vallabh Bhatt said, where do all these Vaishnavas live and how can I see them? प्रभु कहे केह गोड़ केह देशांतर, सब आशियाच रथ यात्रा देखी पाते. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, although some of them live in Bengal and some in other states, they have all come here to see the Rath Yatra festival. यहाँ ही रहे न सबे वास नाना स्थान, यहाँ ही पाइबा तुम्ही सबार दर्शन. At present, they are all living here. The residences are in various quarters. Here you will get the audience of them all. तबे भट्ट कहे बहु विनय वचन, बहु दैन्य करी प्रभु रे कैला निमंत्रण. Thereafter, with great submission and humility, Vallabh Bhatt invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to dine at his home. आर दिन सब वैष्णव प्रभु स्थाने आईला, सभा सने महाप्रभु भट्टे मिल आईला. The next day, when all the Vaishnavas came to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord introduced Vallabh Bhatt to all of them. वैष्णवेर तेज देखी भट्टेर चमत्कार, तास बार आगे भट्ट खाद्योत आकार. He was surprised to see the brilliance of their faces. Indeed, among them, Vallabh Bhatt seemed just like a glowworm, like a jugno. तबे भट्ट बहु महाप्रसाद आनाइल गण सह महाप्रभु रे भोजन कराइल. Then Vallabh Bhatt brought in a great quantity of Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad and sumptuously fed Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Parmanand Puri Sanghe Sannyasi Ragana Ek Dike Vaishe Sab Karite Bhojana. All the sannyasi associates of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Parmanand Puri, sat on one side and thus partook the prasada. Advaita Nityananda Rai, Parshva Dui Jana, Madhya Mahaprabhu Vasila, Age Pache Gavakta Gana. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat in the midst of the devotees. Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda each sat on one side of the Lord. The other devotees sat in front of the Lord and behind him. Gaudera Bhakta Jata Kahite Na Pari, Angane Vasila Sab, Aya Sati Sari. The devotees from Bengal, whom I am unable to count, all sat down in lines in the courtyard. Prabhur Bhakta Gana Dekhi, Atera Chamatkara, Prateke Sabhara Pade, Kaila Namaskara. When Vallabh Bhatt saw all the devotees of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was greatly surprised. And in devotion, he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of each and every one of them. Swarup Jagadananda, Kashishwara Shankara, Pariveshan Kare Ada, Raghav Damodar. Swarup Damodar, Jagadananda, Kashishwar and Shankar, along with Raghav and Damodar Pandit, took charge of distributing the prasada. Mahaprasad Vallabh Bhatt Bahu Anaila, Prabhu Saha Sannyasi Gan, Bhojane Vasila. Vallabh Bhatt had brought a large quantity of Mahaprasadam offered to Lord Jagannath. Thus all the sannyasis sat down to eat with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prasad paye Vaishnav Gana bole Hari Hari, Hari Hari Dhvani Uthe Sab Brahmanda Bhari. Accepting the prasadam, all the Vaishnavas chanted the holy names, Hari Hari. The rising vibration of the holy name of Hari filled the entire universe. Mala Chanda Guva Kapana, Aneka Anila, Sabha Puja Kari Bhatta, Anandita Haila. When all the Vaishnavas had finished eating, Vallabh Bhatt brought a large quantity of garland, sandalwood pulp, spices, and butter. He worshipped the devotees very respectfully and became extremely happy. So this is what pleases the Lord, and somebody worships his devotees and serves them. Rath Yatra Dine Prabhu Kirtan Arambhila, Urvata Shata Sampradaya Pratha Karila. On the day of the car festival, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the congregation chanting. As he had done previously, he divided all the devotees into 7 groups. Advait Nityananda Haridas Vakreshwara, Shrivas Raghav Pandit Gadadhara, Shata Jana Shata Thai, Kare Nartana, Hari Bola Bali Prabhu, Karena Brahman. 7 devotees, Advaita, Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, Vakreshwar, Shrivas Thakur, Raghav Pandit and Gadadhar Pandit, formed 7 groups and began dancing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanting Hari Bol wandered from one group to another. 14 Madal Baje Ucha Sankirtana, Eka Eka Nartakera, Preme Bhashila Bhuvan. 14 Mridangas resounded with the loud congregation chanting, and in each group was a dancer whose dance of ecstatic love inundated the entire world. Dekhi Vallabh Bhattera Haila Chamatkar, Anande Vival Nahi Apana Samphala. Seeing all this, Vallabh Bhatt was completely astonished. He was overwhelmed by transcendental bliss and lost himself. Tabbe Mahaprabhu Sabha Nitya Rakhila, Puravata Apane Nitya Karite Lagila. Then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the dancing of the others, and as he had done previously, he personally began to dance. प्रभुर सौंदर्य देख यार प्रेमोदय, यही तो साक्षात कृष्ण भटे रहिला निश्चय. Seeing the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the awakening of his ecstatic love, Vallabhat concluded, here is Lord Krishna without a doubt. एतमत रथ यात्रा सकल देखीला, प्रभुर चरित्र भटेर चमत्कार हईला. Thus Vallabhat witnessed a car festival. He was simply astonished by the characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. यात्रा अंतरे भट्ट यही महाप्रभु स्थान है, प्रभु चरणे किच्छु कैला निवेदन. One day after the festival was over, Vallabhat went to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submitted a request at the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, we'll discuss this submission of his request tomorrow. We'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
प्रभु जी, कथा के साथ ये पीछे जो रसगुल्ले का बैकग्राउंड है ना, तो वो थोड़ा सा डेविएट कर रहा था कंसंट्रेशन को.
आज रसगुल्ला लीला हुई ना भगवान की.
अच्छा.
हाँ, जो लक्ष्मी जी को रसगुल्ला खिलाते हैं ना,
जी जी.
तब वो नाराज की छोड़ती हैं और आने लगती हैं भगवान को मंदिर के अंदर.
टेम्पटिंग प्रभु जी बैकग्राउंड.
Probably we are missing your Rath Yatra trips.
I know, me too. What to do?
1 year, some year you please come during this time and take us again.
I know, I need to come for myself, not for anybody. Chalo, so you all have safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण.
Krishna.
जय श्रीला
Thank you.
प्रभुपाद. थैंक यू.